Don't you dare, ref. That's he got the ball. Good morning, Tottenham fans worldwide, and especially to our Americans right across the pond. Happy Thanksgiving to you all. Hopefully you have a great day. But get ready, buckle in, Spurs fans, as we dive into a jam-packed fixture schedule. Next up, we host Roma at N17 in the Europa League, as we aim to build on the momentum from a sensational 4-0 away triumph against Man City, which many are calling the standout performance of the Postecoglou era so far. But with back-to-back home games against Roma and Fulham to see out this week, this is the perfect opportunity for Tottenham to find some much-needed consistency. So the big question remains, can we follow up our impressive win at the Etihad with another European victory here? And also, will Postecoglou rotate the squad to manage fitness levels amongst an injury crisis, or will he stick with a settled 11 to gain momentum? So, let's dive into it. The lineup that I think Ange Postecoglou will pick to continue Tottenham's European domination. Starting between the sticks, well, this change comes out of necessity after it was confirmed that Guglielmo Vicario underwent surgery for an ankle fracture and will be sidelined for several months. And let's face it, the injury couldn't have come at a worse time for Spurs, hitting at a crucial stage of the season. However, it's happened. There's no point in crying over spilt milk, and the team must adapt and push forward. As Postecoglou always says, we never stop. Which means the general of Dad's army, Fraser Forrester, is set for a run in the team. Now, Forrester does have some big shoes to fill, and he will really need to rise to the challenge here. And for me, I think we need to get him into action as quickly as possible. I think it's actually essential. Every game will help him build up that match sharpness and confidence needed as we head into this demanding stretch of fixtures. I do read a lot and I listen to a lot, and there's understandable concern about whether Forrester can deliver consistent performances across all competitions in Vicario's absence. I do share those concerns. Take your mind back to the game against Galatasaray. I think he still shows the quickness of thought, but he does struggle with the reaction speed in terms of the agility to be able to get down. I do think some of them shots, if he was a younger, more agile goalkeeper, I think he would have prevented on the night. And in possession, it's not what Fraser Forrester is known for. He gave away the ball a number of times trying to play out from the back on the night. That being said though, Forrester's experience will be absolutely vital here. He's no stranger to these pressurised situations, and his composure in this situation could be key in him navigating the next 10 games until the January transfer window opens at least. So let's hope that he can draw on that experience to steady the ship. At left back, Destiny Edozie did pick up an injury against Man City, but Ange Postecoglou has confirmed in his pre-match press conference that he is fit and available. So I do expect him to start here, especially as he's logged fewer minutes this season compared to Pedro Porro on the right hand side, who I think could use a rest. I think Edozie was absolutely outstanding against Man City. Look back to his defensive best, and hopefully he can carry that form into the upcoming fixture schedule. At right back, since Postecoglou's arrival, Pedro Porro has been one of the most heavily utilised players under his tenureship, and I do think it's time that Pedro Porro gets a rest. So I do expect Archie Gray to step in at right back, even though many fans are eager to see him get minutes in that preferred role as a central defensive midfielder. But with Bentancur available for the Europa League, I do think he'll likely take up that midfield spot, meaning Gray will have to wait until next season, in my opinion, for regular opportunities in his favourite position. However, this season, I don't think Archie Gray really cares where he plays, as long as he's getting minutes and getting the exposure. And one thing I'll give him, he's very, very good in possession, which means I think he can adapt to most of them defensive positions because of that. So just be patient and his opportunities will come at CDM. At right-sided centre-back with Romero still on the sideline, still injured. Postecoglou confirmed that in the pre-match press conference. Radu Dragusin will continue his run, and after a challenging start to his Tottenham career, Dragusin delivered a standout defensive display at the Etihad over the weekend, and I do hope that the clean sheet comes as a confidence boost to Radu Dragusin, and the hope is that he can maintain that level moving forward. Now, Radu was dominant in the air. He also made several key clearances and blocks. However, I still think there's room for improvement in his distribution, especially if he hopes to seriously challenge Romero or Van de Ven for a starting spot. That said, he is showing progress and he's proven that he's more than capable defensively at this level. Last thing, his Europa League form, marked by a poor outing against Galatasaray and a costly red card against Karabakh. Dragusin, for me, in the Europa League, owes the team a really strong performance here and has a chance to redeem himself. And with Van de Ven ruled out until mid-December, Ben Davies will continue his run at left-sided centre-back. Some people are getting carried away here, calling him Uncle Davies, Daddy Davies. Look, I'm just going to call him Davies. And I thought he was absolutely outstanding against Man City over the weekend, excelling both defensively and in possession, which add to his impressive catalogue of performances this season. And he's probably starting to showcase the reliability and the consistency that many people were telling me was within Ben Davies. Now, with Davies' contract set to expire at the end of the season, I think he's certainly making a strong case for an extension of a year or two. I wouldn't get carried away and give him a 3-4 year. A, because he's 30 odd, but B, I still have question marks why this season when your contract's coming up compared to the last couple of seasons. So maybe he's just a player that needs to be kept on a short contract and has to be made earn it. But I want to know from you guys, what do you think? Based on his form this season, should Spurs offer him a new deal, or is it time for Ben Davies to bow out on a high? Let me know in the comments. Moving into midfield, and we'll start with the CDM role. And Bentancur is available for selection in the Europa League, as his suspension only applies to the domestic competitions. And for me, I think it's absolutely crucial for Spurs to maintain Bentancur's match fitness to ensure his performance levels don't dip. And I think this game provides a great opportunity for Bentancur to get some much needed minutes under his belt. But also, it allows us to rest Yves Bissouma, who I think has earned a well-earned rest after his massive shift against Man City at the weekend, and just preserve them legs for the game against Fulham. I think Lucas Bergvall will step in for Papa Matasar, who I also think needs a much-needed rest. And while Bergvall is yet to truly find this sort of rhythm, his flow in a Spurs jersey, European minutes do provide a valuable opportunity for Bergvall to showcase his abilities. And I actually think this game could play to his strengths, as Roma are likely to sort of sit back and focus on counter-attacking, which I think will give Bergvall more time on the ball in the midfield compared to what Galatasaray gave him. And I do think that extra space could allow Bergvall to be able to highlight his passing and playmaking abilities, which I think we've only seen in glimpses so far. There was a game there not so long ago where he played a beautiful ball for Werner outside of the boot. Werner ended up missing the opportunity. I think if he scores, I think maybe there's a bit of a different narrative around Bergvall. But with a demanding fixture schedule and an ongoing injury crisis, it's all hands on deck. And for me, Bergvall really needs to step up here, come of age, and prove that he can really be relied upon during such a critical period, earn that trust, and I think he needs to use this match to kickstart his Tottenham career. And completing the midfield, I do think it will be James Maddison, the birthday boy, off the back of his man-of-the-match display at the Etihad, where he bagged himself 2 goals on the night. Now, in fairness, I've previously criticised Maddison for not embracing the grittier side of the game, winning tackles and turning over possession, but he really stepped up and proved to me that my criticisms were valid, that he can deliver in that area of the game, and now he really needs to show that level of commitment consistently, game in, game out. Also, in possession, I've also called for him to be more decisive as a playmaker, ensuring that the attack flows through him, and against Man City, he delivered on all fronts, dictating the game and creating chances. If Maddison can sustain this level of performance, he'll play a key role in addressing Spurs' inconsistencies this season. Now, moving into the front line, and we are down to bare bones. Will Lancashire, of course, suspended. Mikey Moore still out. Udebur still injured. Richarlison still injured. We are down to the bare bones, and we'll start with the left-hand side here, and I'm sort of tying this one up. Should Postecoglou go with Timo Werner, or will he go with Son, considering he took him off after about 60 minutes against Man City, which means he will be a bit fresher in terms of his legs. So I'm sort of trying to weigh this one up. But when I look at the balance of the front three, I do think that Postecoglou will actually go with Son. I know in the members preview I sort of said I think he'll go with Werner, but on reflection and given time to think, because I think Roma will sit back, play this low defensive block, what we absolutely hate and struggle against, and look to play us on the counter, I think we do need that creativity from out wide. And on the right-hand side, Brennan Johnson will play. And with Brennan Johnson, he's more of an inside forward. He excels at making them runs into the box, almost finishing off everybody else's work. But he doesn't necessarily have that creativity, whereas Son does, and shown against Man City. So I think Son will start here with a view again of getting him off early and hopefully bringing on Timo Werner. And like I said, on Brennan Johnson, look, I was surprised as any that he wasn't on the team sheet to start against Man City at the weekend. However, I do think Postecoglou got the call right playing Kulusevski there, and I think it's going to be very hard for Johnson to dispossess Kulusevski of that right wing position now moving forward, because Kulusevski simply provided something that we're still waiting to see from Brennan Johnson, that decisive cross or that decisive ball for someone else to get on the end of. And in this game against Roma with the low block, we are going to need to see that side of the game from Brennan Johnson. So that's why I've put Son over there for that creative role. But one thing Brennan Johnson absolutely excels on is the timing of his run, shown by the 4th goal and many of his goals this season. Like I said, finishing off other people's work. So hopefully he can do that, but also hopefully he can bring out of his locker that player that I do think can be in there. Get on the ball, beat a player, find that decisive cross. And then lastly, that brings me on to the guy up front. And quite frank, I just don't think we've any other option but to put more minutes into Dom Solanke's legs. This guy's work rate is absolutely incredible, and I am not sure how he has managed to play Sunday, Thursday, while putting in the effort that he does in possession, but also out of possession, where he works tirelessly hard, pressing up in the forward areas and doing a lot of unselfish work for the team. However, with Will Lancashire suspended, no Richarlison, we don't really have an option but to go with Dominic Solanke. Now, I would hope in this game that he's told, stick in and around that penalty area, make yourself a nuisance. It's up to other people to find you, and hopefully we can provide him with a chance or two, and he will have to be very, very crucial here and take them, because I don't think he's going to get many one-on-one chances here. We know Italian teams, they're stubborn, they master the art of defending, they absolutely love it, so I just don't think he's going to get much wiggle room here, but whatever comes his way, I really do hope he can take. Now, in terms of substitutions, what do you do later on in the game if you want to get him and Solanke off, or him and Son off, sorry? I think for me, you bring Kulusevski up front, put Werner out on the left, and that you can get them off early and rested for the Fulham game. My only concern is cold evening. The warm-up's going to have to be really, really intense. What we don't want is anyone pulling hamstrings. But guys, I do think Tottenham will look to kick on and add back-to-back victories here, Man City and Roma, and look to push it into the weekend where we play Fulham. That's my predicted lineup. Please, as always, give me yours in the comment section below. Your reasons behind picking the players that you have as well. But also, if there's anything that I've said that you disagree with, let me know in the comments, and also answer my question on Ben Davies. But guys, have a good day. Stay warm. I'll see you back here at 5 p.m. for the pre-match build-up for the big European game tonight. As always, come on, you Spurs. In the big Ange we trust. We never stop. All white, under the light. Let's go.